This is a Headgum podcast.
It's me and you now. I've been waiting. Think I wanna make a move now. Baby, tell me if you like it. Tell me if you like it. It's me and you now. I've been waiting. Think I wanna make that move now. Baby, tell me how you like it. That is Me and You by Cassie, also one of my favorite songs in high school. That song is a banger. Highly suggest everyone go and listen to it now. I have a very exciting, highly anticipated guest on the pod today that I am really thrilled to bring on. Our guest, and I love having one of these every so often. We are in mystery zone. We know that my guest this week did complete high school when? We don't know. It was, I can confirm, post 9/11, pre-COVID. So, sometime in that window, use your imagination to sort of deduce when that could be. Definitely graduated in like the 19 years span, Could have graduated in 2020 for all I know. And we just don't know. And Cassie could have been an oldie banger that they rediscovered via TikTok. So, without further ado, my guest was in high school in no other than the longest island on earth, Long Island, in Huntington. My gorgeous guest today is Marie Faustin. Marie!
Hi, Greta.
Can you believe it that I have figured out a way to not only get you on my podcast, but for you to talk about something that you, out of all of us in the sphere of the comedy space, you are and have maintained now for years. I have known you now for so long. And the mystery of the age of Marie Faustin is true lore at this point,
I mean, yeah. The year that I graduated does fall in that 19-year range. And and that's what it is. When people interview me for like articles and stuff, they'll be like, what year should I put, how old? And I'm like, put a question mark. And they're like, okay. I'm like, why do you need to know how old I am for this article?
I know. I mean, it is kind of like, it is kind of no one's business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But have you ever been on somebody's Wikipedia and it gives like an age range? That's what I want. That's what I see in my future.
That's like, what your Wikipedia is going to have. It's going to say your name and then it's going to say 19 blank to 2000 blank question mark because it's going to have no idea. And since you also famously don't age, you are kind of Benjamin Buttoning. We were talking about Benjamin Button before we got on the pod, and you are kind of Benjamin Buttoning.
Benjamin Elizabeth Button. That's my spirit animal. That's my spirit animal.
So, Marie, I have to know, first and foremost, what was going on with you in high school? What were you like? What was the vibe? Did you have a clique? What was your high school like? Tell me everything.
Yeah, I had a clique. My parents were really strict, so I didn't have like a big group of friends. I had like a very specific group of friends that also had strict parents. So we were like, nerds together.
The strict crew.
Yeah. The immigrant kids, the Haitian kids who took like advanced math. Like that was my crew. Whoever was in AP economics.
Those are your friends. I love that.
But my brother was only a year older than me and he was cool. So I was cool by default.
I love that.
Like,
that's powerful.
Trickle down cool. Yeah.
Trickle down cool is the best kind of cool and the easiest kind of cool to adapt to. But you did mention before we started recording that you were in honors society.
Oh yeah, girl. I was the one that was fucking up the curve for everybody. Do you hear me?
I love it when a teacher would be like, and these assignments have been graded on a curve. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Of course, you were getting the A+. I was getting a D-.
No, you were getting D's in school?
No, I was getting C's. I was getting C's for sure.
What's a C? Like a 70?
Yeah.
Damn, Greta.
D's
really?
Oh, yeah. I was like, first of all, I definitely had ADHD. Like, I definitely should have probably been medicated. Two, I just like so much shit was happening in my home life that I was just like perpetually distracted. And I just like, I don't think now looking back, I don't think that like traditional style learning was like right for me at the time. Like I went to a super like competitive traditional school in the sense of like, I don't know, like you study your books and you take all the tests. Like now I feel like schools are like, use your hands. You know what I mean? That wasn't my school
now
experience.
schools are like, we don't grade the students.
Yeah. And like no grades. I personally don't think that that's like real because I'm kind of like when you go into the real world, everyone is fucking rejecting your ass. Everyone is telling you their opinion and everyone's being critical of some shit. So you got to start learning it somewhere. And if school's not going to give you a fucking grade and tell you that you're bad, then you're going to be in for a rude awakening when you are out of it.
I know, but it's like, what did you learn in school that you actually know or use right now? Pythagorean theorem? What you using over there?
How to suck dick?
Okay, applied learning. I didn't learn how to do that in high school. Wow.
Wait, did you have a boyfriend in high school?
No, I wasn't allowed to date. I'm still not allowed to date. This is why I'm single right now.
So your parents were that strict, like across the board?
Yeah, it was like you go to school, you come home, you do your homework, and then Sundays you go to church. Like that's what my parents were and are still. So we would sneak out and like lie and find reasons to not be in the house. But it was like, in order for us to be good, we had to be bad so that we could escape, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
But I didn't have a boyfriend. I got my first boyfriend when I was in, I don't know, I guess my first boyfriend was a situationship.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kylie Jenner. And because she's in a situationship right now.
Absolutely.
Poor thing. Poor little thing. My first boyfriend, I was like 23.
Wow.
So basically yesterday.
So in school, you were just like academic queen. Did you do any sports or like any performing arts or what was the vibe?
I ran track. I was on the track team.
Fast. You were fast.
I was fast. I wasn't fast like how you were fast, but I was fast. So
You know, I famously ran the mile so slow in middle school that they thought something was wrong with me.
How slow did you run the mile?
Again, I think I was just like getting distracted chatting with friends. I think it took me like 16 minutes or something like that.
You ran it slower than the slow kids?
Yeah. I was just like chatting and like, you know, chatting with the girlies, saying hey, getting distracted and kind of like would run and then would like stop and walk and like look around.
That's so crazy. I think I ran like a 7-minute mile.
That's amazing.
Or something like that. It might have been faster than that.
Matt Rogers famously ran cross country in Long Island and his PR for a mile, I think, was 4 minutes and 26 seconds.
Yuck. What?
Yeah, insane. I mean, it was all that he did, though. It was like his only focus in school was cross country and running. So he would like go to running camp and running clinics and running on the weekends and running and like running all the time. Yeah, running camp.
Oh my God. Well, look at the growth now. Matt is in a completely different place now, and I love that for him.
Do you feel like since you were you were doing a bunch of academics and you were running track. Did you perform at all?
No, not really. I was not like in drama. I wasn't a theater kid. I didn't do plays or anything like that. I used to do like my church plays. I played one of the Three Wise Men. I was the wisest. I was the wisest of the men. So that was where I performed. But I didn't. I was just like a nerd who was funny, who was fast.
That sounds like a fast, funny nerd. Sounds really good to me.
Fast, funny nerd.
Yeah.
That was my screen name.
What was your screen name?
It was Sister Girl 030.
Wait, why 030?
Because 3 was my favorite number, and I'm a Libra, so it needed to be balanced. So
yes.
It was like 0 and then a 0 on the other end. But it was Sister.
Sista.
TA, and then Girl, GURL. Sister Girl.
That's good. That is not a nerdy fast screen name. That is not.
No. Well, because I was like, Sister Girl is cool, and then the 030 is like, the cherry on top of the screen name.
Yeah, you kind of hit him with a little flavor with that number sequence.
Yes, just the sprinkles. What was your screen name?
Mine was embarrassing. I had 2. The first one that I had was, this is so embarrassing, was Bessie Beat, okay? And that was my screen name because that was the first play that I was in kindergarten. I played it was a play about vegetables, and I played the part of Bessie Beat. And
okay, the lead.
Yes, and my line was, "Hi, I'm Bessie Beat, nutritious, delicious, for you to eat. I am bright red. Won't you please choose me for your garden bed?" I still remember it to this day.
Not you got the line memorized all these years later. They're gonna put that on your tombstone.
I was about to say, I'm gonna be 90 years old talking to my great grandkids, and I'm gonna be like, I remember when I used to perform. I was Bessie Beat before the pictures. When the pictures were in black and white, I was Bessie Beat. No, but then after that, my screen name was ATURG19, my name backwards and my lucky number.
Oh.
A lame one.
ATURG.
ATURG. I got it because this boy who I thought was really cute, I've talked about this before on the podcast, but a boy who I thought was really cute, his screen name was his name backward, which was Nomad X-Ram. And Damon Marks being his real name. We're allowed to say the name. He's a great guy. I'm not damning him. And nothing about this can ruin Damon Marks' life. Nomad X-Ram was cool. So then I did ATURG19. That's it.
Wow. I mean, he was probably one of the original influencers because he influenced you.
Absolutely. And guess what? Checked up on him the other day on Instagram. Still hot as hell. Okay? Blessings be. Mazel tov. That's what I got to say. We love aging well.
I mean, we love aging well. We
Yes.
like seeing our friends age well. But
Yes.
some of the people who I went to high school with that were like the hottest.
Oh, sure.
Or the coolest. When I pop in to Facebook once a year to check my Facebook, I see them, and some of them look, they aged like Steve Buscemi, sis. So it's, and that makes me happy.
It is kind of remarkable to see the hot people, everyone was like, oh my God, they're the hottest person in the class. And now when you reflect back on it, you're like, really? Those people?
Them?
Yeah. Were you a hot girl in your class?
No, I was not hot. The older I get, the hotter I'm becoming. But I was
too.
not hot. And my cousin sent me a picture that he found at my uncle's house the other day, and it's me and my siblings, and we look so bad.
What was your go-to style? Was there an outfit that you would wear that you were like, I feel so hot in this, I am a queen?
I had these acid wash, green rinse, skinny jeans, I feel like. That were and my mom didn't like when we wore stuff that was tight, so I would wear these pants under my loose clothes, and then I would change when I change my clothes when I got to school. But they were now that I think about it, they were all really, really ugly. And then I had this Rocawear, I don't know if you even remember Rocawear, sweatsuit that I would that I'd be like, I look real cool in this today. And it was like, girl, you look stupid.
I still think a Rocawear sweatsuit, is Rocawear still a brand?
I don't think so.
Rocawear was no, Sean John is Diddy's brand, which is still a thing. Rocawear has nothing to do, was it Jay-Z? Or am I just...
Rocawear was Jay-Z, yeah. And then there was like Baby Fat.
Yes.
And there was Echo.
Yes.
And like, you know, Abercrombie and Fitch was having a moment at that time. It was wild. But I didn't wear any Abercrombie, so.
I remember my mom being like, Abercrombie is for sluts. And I was like, well.
It was.
It was. I mean, the zippers, and I like, remember when our zippers and our jeans were like this big?
Oh, do you remember when they were like, you don't need that top part where the belt loop is. They like moved that whole thing down. And our pants were literally, it was like that much. I remember that.
Did you go to school dances?
I went to a couple of school dances, but like, not really. It wasn't like in my mind, it wasn't a big deal to go to a school dance, but I think it's because I wasn't really going to school dances.
Whenever I think about that time and those tiny jeans and all of that music, I just think of the aggressive grinding that would happen at school dances. Yes,
because that's all we knew how to do. We were like, this is dancing.
Yeah, backing my tiny ass into a prepubescent boy's crotch. Yes. Or I guess pubescent boy. Ugh.
Yeah. And it was like, he likes me. I'm going to make him like me. And it was like, girl. That man is going to grow up to be gay. And he's having a terrible time at this dance. And you're like.
You're like, I swear he's into it.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Do you have like a moment, like a high school story that in your mind sticks out as like a quintessential Marie in high school tale? Something where you look back and you're like, wow, you were so dumb, or you were so smart, or anything that just kind of shines as being quintessentially you in that moment?
Okay. Yeah, the thing that's coming to my mind right now is I took a child development class in, I don't know what grade, and everybody got to take a baby home, like a fake baby home that like it would cry, and it would like record how long you let it cry. It would record how you fed it, like. So I took this baby home, and in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna take it home on a 3-day weekend because I want it for more time.
Wow.
I want this baby for more days.
Yes.
So I took this baby home, and in like in a car seat and everything, like diaper bag. Yeah, like. I stopped wearing a backpack. I don't remember what grade. It was just like not cool to have a backpack in high school.
Yeah.
So me and like my one trapper keeper and my baby and stuff went to school. And I remember it crying and waking everybody in my house up. I remember it was a weekend and my family was religious, so I had to bring the baby to church. Like, it was like, can I stay home? And my mom was like, no, you're coming to church with your baby. And it was like...
Was it like a realistic looking baby? Did people actually think you had a baby?
From a distance, it looks like a real baby, right? Because I went home with the black baby. I said, well, I want the one that's melanated. So I'm not going to stop the white baby from crying. That's not my kid. So like the car seat and everything that I had for the kid was real. So people were like, I know that little skinny girl doesn't have a baby with her. So they knew it wasn't. But then when you look at it, you're like, oh no, that's, she's weird. Aren't you a little old to be playing with dolls?
So then you brought the baby to church.
Yeah, and it cried. And when it cried, it sounded like a robot. Like, this is not the technology. Steve Jobs wasn't putting chips in iPhones.
Yeah.
We still had nanos and original iPods. So the baby had that technology, and
the baby had the tech of like an LG flip phone.
It was like a compact Presario chip in the baby. The baby was Adele, so just crying terribly, and I'm just like, shh. And the way that this baby worked is like you had to support the head when you picked it up, or the head would snap back.
Oh my God!
Like a real baby. Or like, I don't know if real babies' heads do that. But
when the baby's head snaps back.
Just the dead baby. Just me failing the class every day for the 3-day weekend. But I ended up bringing the baby into like the nursery where like real babies would sit during church. And all the kids in the nursery were like, what the fuck is that?
So then did someone else have to take care of the doll while you were in church?
No, I sat in the nursery with the real kids and my fake baby. And wow, I think maybe that's part of the reason why I don't like kids now. I don't want to have to bring a baby to church.
The doll traumatized you. Did you name it?
I don't remember. Probably. I think I named it something like Alicia or like Madison or Mariah, something like that with a heart over the eye.
Absolutely. Dumb. You have to have the heart over the eye.
Marie and Mariah. It was a mess. But that was I was thinking about that earlier today, and so when you asked about high school, that was just a memory that I have. But I don't know. I also remember drinking like White Claw and stuff before they changed the recipe.
Oh, you mean Four Loko?
Four Loko, yes, that.
Yes, Four Loko was potent. We are going to throw to a break right now, and then when we get back, we're going to talk more about Four Loko because I have a lot to say on the subject. And we're back. Four Loko was fucking loco. Okay, it was. Before they changed the recipe, it was like lethal.
Yeah, were people dying or getting like having heart attacks or something?
I feel like people were having major heart palpitations because it was essentially like, wasn't it like malt liquor mixed with essentially like Monster energy drink?
I'm Googling the recipe right now.
Flavored to be like sour watermelon. That was the one that I drank. And we used to shotgun them.
Shotgun, is that when you like poke a hole in it and then you like suck it down?
Yeah.
Yeah. It had caffeine in it and taurine and I don't know, some other stuff that looks like it's bad for you. I don't know why.
I remember throwing up Four Loko and my barf being like how toxic acid would look in like an old Batman movie. It was like fluorescent green.
Yes. It looked like when Alex Mack melted into a puddle.
Exactly. It really did. It was so gross. Did you get drunk in high school?
The first time I ever got drunk, I was drinking Smirnoff.
Absolutely. Smirnoff
vodka, and I had never been drunk before, and so I was at my friend's house like a block away, and her brother he went and got the drinks, so we're like, and I don't like do you remember the first time you got drunk?
Oh, sure, I do.
It like hit me so fast.
Yeah.
And I was so drunk, and my friends were like, well, we're going to bed, so you got to go home. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I knew I couldn't go home like that.
No.
And they were like, you're going home. And I was like, I'm going to get in trouble. They're like, you'll be fine. And I remember they put me in my friend's car, and I kept climbing out. So they put the child locks on. And so I'm locked in this car. We go up the block. We get to my house. I'm still trying to get out.
Yeah.
They open the door. I fall onto the street. And there was this guy that lived across the street, my brother's friend, Theo. He was like, oh, shit. Is that Marie?
Oh, no.
So he like comes to get me, and we're like sitting on my steps. And my dad, I have one of these dads that's always like looking through the blinds. He's just like looking. He like knows everybody's business. My dad is like a desperate housewife, and and so he saw me fall out of the car, and he opened the door behind us, and Theo ran, and I'm drunk, so I was like, well, I don't think he saw me, so I'm like hiding in the bushes, and my dad's like, I can see you, but I'm still hiding because I'm like, he's not talking to me.
Yeah, he's talking to Theo.
He's talking to Theo, right? And I'm like, well, I should pee while I'm behind this bush. So my dad comes down. I'm like peeing on my pants. Like it was embarrassing.
God. Did you get in trouble?
Oh yeah, I was like, everyone's up. My mom is up. My sister's up. I think she was like studying for a test. So I'm just standing there with pee on my skinny jeans, just like swaying. They pour do you remember the Nike like drawstring bags?
Yes, of course.
They open my Nike drawstring bag. A bunch of water bottles fall out because my friends were like, oh, you could pee out the alcohol. So I had like a bunch of water bottles in my bag. And my mom's like, she's drunk. And then my brother came home and he was high, wearing shoes he had not left the house in. And so they weren't looking at me anymore. They were looking at him. So it was wow. That was a night.
That is so funny.
It was an evening, yeah.
The first time I got proper drunk was in Ireland when I was like 14 years old. And I was in Ireland with my family, and my dumb ass was drinking Corona in Ireland because I think I was like 14. And in my mind, I was like, I know Corona beer. Like, I see it. And it was so expensive because of the import costs from Mexico to Ireland that I was drinking like, I think I had 8 Coronas.
What?
And I got blackout drunk, like so fucked up because kind of like what you were saying, I drank so much so quickly. And then I remember it hit me, and then I don't think I stopped drinking it. But then the next day, I got so sick. We were on like a bus tour going up the coast of Ireland, and I was just barfing, and no one gave me any sympathy. Everyone was like, well, that's what you get, you fucking dumbass. Who
were you in Ireland with?
I was in Ireland with my aunt and uncle. My parents weren't on this trip, and neither of my siblings were. So I was there with my aunt and uncle and my cousins. And I was so annoying as a kid that I called my mom, and I was like, I want to go out with my cousins because they were older than me. And my uncle didn't want to let me go out with them. My uncle was like, she's too young. But then my mom called my uncle and was like, this bitch will not stop calling me until you let her just like go out. I don't want to hear from her while you're on this trip. Let her go out with the cousins. So then of course I go out, I get wasted. Everyone poo-poos me.
Nobody cared. Yeah, that night that I was drunk, I threw up like in the bed, like I threw up all over the room, and woke up and nobody felt bad. They were like,
so awful. And also barfing all over everything. Do you remember that sensation when you're a kid? It's like so terrible.
Yeah, but like after that, like I can probably count on one hand the amount of times that I've thrown up drunk. And because after that it was like, we're gonna learn how to hold our liquor. And,
yes.
And we did.
And we did. It's like, we're going to learn how to hold our liquor, and we're going to learn how to smoke weed. And then maybe those things will all just create a beautiful puzzle together of no barf.
And I've always been more of a smoker than a drinker anyway. But like, I mean, I was also the only one in my friend group in high school that smoked. So my friends wouldn't let me smoke in their cars. So I had to smoke in the street.
Wait, did you just smoke weed, or did you also smoke cigarettes?
No, I smoked weed. Cigarettes have always been gross to me.
Yeah.
Plus the smell sticks in, like, and I've always had hair that I can't just like detach.
Yeah.
So I,
Makes
so
sense.
I would, I would smoke weed. I would smoke weed in my friends' cars that were cool. And then get home and my dad would be like, "You smell like, what is that smell? What do you smell like?" And I'd be like, "My friend's brother dropped me off and he was smoking in his cars."
Absolutely.
So, you always blame it on the friends' brothers.
I mean, the fact that we even thought that our parents were dumb enough to like believe those lies, they're just kind of like, okay, fine. Like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, I would come home reeking of pot and cigarettes, and my mom would be like, "You smell like pot and cigarettes." And I'd be like, the same thing. I'd be like, "Yeah, Mom, because I was in the car with people who smoke fucking cigarettes and people who smoke pot. Like, it's not my fault. I went to a concert. I was just around it."
Meanwhile, your eyes are like red and like little slits, and you're like, "Mom, they were not me."
Yeah.
You're like shoving food in your face. You're like, "I don't know why I'm so hungry." Yeah.
What was your favorite snack in high school?
My favorite snack.
I love this question.
I need an example of other snacks.
Like, I was addicted to Chipotle. I guess that's not a snack. That's a full meal.
Yeah. Oh, I used to love going to Wendy's to get a junior bacon cheeseburger, fries, nuggets, and a Frosty.
Yum. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, that's what I used to, like, we would go before practice and then run, or we would go after practice.
And now if I ate that and had to run, I would barf. I would die. I don't even have to eat that. If I have to run now, yeah, no.
I'm like, what? Why am I doing this?
Did your high school have a cafeteria?
Yeah, we had two cafeterias, and I used to go to two different lunches. Like I used to
really?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Because I feel like I had study hall periods that I would just be like, I'm just gonna not be here. So, and again, because my brother was older, a lot of my friends were a year older. So all the things that they did, I did.
Right.
When they had senior cut day, I too was a senior. When they were leaving early for prom, I was also leaving early for prom.
Yeah.
So after a bunch of my friends graduated, my friend Farah had a car, and she would pretend to be my mom and pick me up from school.
Did they believe that?
Wait, so, okay, boom. So one day I was like, oh, I have to leave. I don't remember what excuse I gave to leave. And I gave them Farah's number and they called it. And she was like, oh, yes, Marie. Yes, she can go. And then there was a fire drill. So they hung up on Farah. And then we get back in. They called my real mom. They called my real mom, who sounds different. Who's like, what? Why is the school calling me? And I have to get on the phone with my mom. And luckily I'm, bilingual, trilingual. So I'm like trying to translate and lie in French.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, there's a field trip and I need to be able to leave for the field trip. And my mom was like, what? And I was
oh. What ended up happening? What did she say?
She was like, they let me go. She's like, oh, you have to leave for a field trip? I was like, yeah. I forgot to have you sign the thing and they won't let me go. So they let me leave, and Farah's outside in her little like Honda Accord, and she's like, what happened? And I'm like, they called my real mom.
That is so funny. And Farah would do a full-on accent?
She would do a full accent. She would be like, and she doesn't sound like my mom. She was trying to like sound like small and like foreign. My mother is loud. My mother is a loud Haitian lady. So she's like, what? School, like screaming at the secretary. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just go back to class. Like, it's all right. Like,
Knock, knock, knock. Welcome to the high school guidance counselor's office. It's me, your high school guidance counselor. And in this section of the show, you get to heal a high school trauma of the past, whether that's you saying fuck you to someone or apologizing for a wrongdoing. You get to use this time to clear any of those moments that might be eating away at you, and then you never have to think about them again. So Marie, how can me, your guidance counselor, help you sort of heal yourself today?
Okay, so I was a nerd, but I was also kind of a bully. I was a bully to the people who were less cool than me. Mm-hmm. So, like the 4 kids that were below me. And I have a friend, and we're cool now, but like every once in a while she'll bring up the fact that when she first came to my school, I was making fun of her on the bus. So, mind you, I was making fun of her clothes in my not cool clothes. Mm-hmm. So I think that I need to apologize to her because she's still talking about this at her big age. Yeah. So I would like, am I apologizing to her? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to apologize to Joanne because I think I made fun of like her voice and her hair and her clothes. So
you kind of made fun of the whole thing.
Well, the whole package. It was it was a shabby package in the 2010s. So I just want to apologize to my good sis Joanne. You are cool, and I should not have called you not cool or whatever the hell the word is that I used. So I hope you can forgive me wherever you are in the world.
What a beautiful, beautiful apology. We love an apology here on the pod. Yeah. I always say my line is always open for all of the people who could call me and say they're sorry. I'm waiting. I think that that's a gorgeous apology, and I hope that Joanne hears it loud and clear wherever she may be.
Yeah, I hope she hears it too. But I mean, all this is alleged. I don't remember being that terrible. So,
Tevi, do we have a Classmates Corner?
We do today.
Marie, in Classmates Corner, our listeners get to write us in and get something off their chest to talk to the high school guidance counselor about, and you get to be their co-counselor with me.
Ooh, okay, I'm ready.
So what did our little classmate write in today?
Dearest Greta, an esteemed sexy guest, I'd like to address this to Julia S. My freshman gym class was all girls, but when we did our initial assessments in the fall, the boys and girls had class together on the track outside. We were doing the 12-minute run, which literally is just how many laps you can run in 12 minutes. And after my first lap, the super athletic girl Julia pantsed me and ran around me. Underwear too. I was on my period, and at the time I didn't wear tampons, so a big old winged pad came along with it. I remember scrambling to pull up my uniform gym clothes, which were already huge and secondhand from my older brother, now stretched out even more from her vice grip on my goddamn drawstring. There were so many guys running behind me that burst out laughing, and it was within a month of starting high school, so it truly set me up for the remaining 4 years. She said that she was just kidding, but after all these years, I think fuck her instead. Thanks for the laughs every week. It makes my commute so much better. I love this damn podcast and talk about it to anyone who listens. Thanks, Tal.
Oh, no.
That's bad.
Girl, you gotta burn that whole school down.
We used to call...
That's embarrassing.
That's really bad. Not the winged pad. Not the always maxi coming down.
Right. This isn't even an infinity pad because those are new.
No. This is mother. You gotta clamp it around the crotch of your undies. And that's also when the bottom was really long, when the pad would like come up to like your ass, like where your ass crack begins.
Yes. The pad would peek out of those low-rise jeans.
Yeah, the pad would be popping out of the jeans. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That is so bad. We used to call, I don't know if this was just like our local slang, but we used to call getting pantsed with your underwear getting flagged. Would anybody call it that? Like if you got flagged, that meant that like all of your shit got pulled down. My sister one time got flagged climbing the rope in gym. So my sister, and she was also mortified because the underwear that like came to her knees, she had day of the week underwear, and it was like Monday and she was wearing Wednesday, and she was like supremely embarrassed and like dangling on a rope. Getting flagged
How
is
high
bad.
was she on the rope when she got pants?
Really high. A young girl screaming for dear life.
I mean, climbing the rope is already scary enough. Imagine you dangling and your pants are dangling.
Yeah.
Do you let go to pull your pants up and break your back? Like, I would have $1 million babied myself. Fully would have been like, ah!
It's so bad. I mean, pads in high school too are mortifying. Like getting your period having your period in high school, maneuvering that in high school is bad. And then like getting caught wearing a pad is so humiliating. Also because like we're meant to feel shame. Like we have so much shame around our periods and like menstrual stuff when we're that age, that to have the whole school see your pad when you're running is not good.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of terrifying. Like,
here's what I would say though. I bet if I were that girl that did that, I would almost be so embarrassed to bring it up. I would be so embarrassed to mention it to the person that I did it to because it's so bad that I bet you that girl is I hope that she like feels shame for it still to this day and she just doesn't know how to apologize.
Did you see that movie on Netflix, Do Revenge?
Yes. I
feel like that girl is that girl.
Yeah.
It's the same girl. It's the same girl. She probably forgot she did it.
Yeah.
She probably forgot that she did that to that girl.
Yes.
And it was that embarrassing to her.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's so crazy that somebody would do that to you. You did it, Beach.
Yeah, exactly.
You did it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember in high school, there was on Valentine's Day, I didn't even have a Valentine. I just knew I wanted to wear all red. Mm-hmm. And I had these like cool like flares that I wanted to throw on, and I put them on. And I felt really cute. And then somebody was like, I could see a panty line. And I was like, what? And she was like, visible panty line. And she like shamed me for being able to see my underwear line on my very small butt. I was like, instead of saying like, stop looking at my butt. Like, I just was like, oh no, like, oh.
Yeah, you were like so mortified.
Right. Because I'm supposed to be wearing a thong right now. Like, how could I be so stupid? Like, what?
I do feel like panty lines are going to make a comeback. I do think that it's going to be like in vogue for us to see your panty line. But also when we were in high school, and I don't know if you fell victim to this. Remember like boy shorts? Like that cut of underwear was really like cute. I remember thinking it was like sexy somehow. And seeing a boy short like that line made your ass look so droopy because it didn't like cut in the right place. It would like...
But you would have boy shorts on, and then when you pull your jeans up, the shorts would come up.
Yeah.
And the line would be real thick. Because it didn't stay under your butt. It would come up. So that's probably what I had on Valentine's Day that year. She was like, ew.
That is so funny. Well, thank you to our listener for writing in. I'm really sorry that you went through with that. That's really fucked up, but I guarantee that experience has only made you a better person and probably a really funny person and clearly someone that has excellent taste because you like this podcast. So there you go.
Bloop.
If you would like to write into us, please email seniorsuperlativespod@gmail.com and Tevi will read whatever it is you want to discuss with moi and my guest. Marie, if you could go back in time and give your high school self any advice, what would it be?
I would say to myself, none of this matters. And really, I learned that right after I graduated from high school and went to college. I was like, oh, nothing that I was doing for those last 4 years even counts right now.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until literally like the first day of college. Like I just moved my little mini fridge under the bed, and I was like, ow, that was fake.
Yeah. It's so real. The stakes feel so high, but in reality, like, no one fucking cares.
No one cares, and also none of that matters. Anytime I see somebody from high school now, I'm like, oof, girl, you doing bad. Like, I'm like, girl, you doing real bad. I see you peaked in 2010 or whatever. Like, so a lot of people, they just, they thrived there, and then they never like, and look at me.
I know, you're absolutely ascending, honey. Ascending. Did you go to your senior prom?
I did. I got to the prom late and I left my prom early. So it was like, did I go to prom?
What'd you wear?
I wore this gold halter dress. Mm-hmm. The boobs was boop. And this, like, I want to say I had a necklace from like Claire's on that like dangled. Mm-hmm. And the dress had like a sheer toolish overlay on it.
Yes.
Girl, it was wild. But I think the dress is still at my mom's house.
It sounds gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it and send it to you.
Where did you get it from?
I don't know, this like dress warehouse place. And it was really funny because my mom didn't know what the hell a prom was.
Right.
And she didn't want to spend a lot of money on the dress. So my aunt had to come with us to go dress shopping to be like, no, prom is a big deal in America. You got to spend money on the dress. And my mom was like, ugh, $300. The dress was something around that.
Right.
But she had never spent that much money on a dress for me before. And I was like, this is the nicest thing that I have.
Yes. It's you. Bring it back.
Oh my God. Do you remember what you wore to prom?
I went to prom. I got asked to prom when I was a sophomore. Okay.
Ooh, excuse me.
And I wore a white and black striped dress. The white was like eyelet, like lace eyelet, and then it was stripes with black lace. So it was like, it was chic, it was cute, it was, it was umpire waist, so it was like my boobs high and then went down. And then my junior year, I wish I still had this dress, I don't know where the fuck it went. I wore a short silk silvery metallic dress that was like, the back was kind of a halter, and then the tie would meet in the middle of my back. So if you untied my back, the whole dress would just fall off of me. Oh. And it was like low cut, and the back was open. And I remember going to photos and like some people's parents being like, Greta looks really sexy in that dress, because I also had like huge boobs. It was aggressive. And then I famously got uninvited from my senior prom, but I did have a dress I never got to wear, which was this cap sleeve, again short. I was like the short girl. It was ombre from yellow, like a bright neon-y yellow to blue, like it ombre'd down.
Wow. I'm not gonna ask you how much you spent on these dresses because I know that our budgets were different, but wow. Not you showing up to prom in a Versace slip dress.
Oh God, Marie, this has been so much fun. I can't believe that I'm actually to my last question of the pod. We did this. I knew you had a heart out. I have a heart out too, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking get all of the questions done. And we did it.
A professional.
Babe. We're not wasting time. We're trimming fat, and we are just getting right to the goods. my last question of the podcast was, did you have a senior superlative?
Did I win something senior
Yeah,
year?
did you get like a nomination, like funniest or class clown or like best dress? Did you get any of that? It's okay if you didn't.
I thought for sure I was going to win funniest. I did.
Yes.
I don't know why I thought that. I was like not hanging out with people who would have thought that I was funny. I mean, everybody that I was cool with thought I was hilarious. Everybody
Yes.
who knew me thought I was really, really funny. So I was like, oh yeah, my 8 friends are gonna help me win. Yeah, no. So I didn't get it, and I was shocked. You gasped. I opened my yearbook and I was like,
Yeah, unbelievable. You're like, this is a sure thing, and then some fucker got it that wasn't you.
no. Well, it was somebody that I was friends with, so it was like, she is funny, but it was like, she's not funny now. Now she's not funny.
You
Only
are
one of us is laughing
professionally
right now.
funny. Oh.
Yeah, so that's what I thought I was gonna get, and then I was like, well, let me see who won best hair. Also, not me, but I didn't think it was gonna be, but it was like it could have. No, it wasn't me. Yeah, I don't know what that girl is doing now either. I'm gonna look her up on Facebook when we're done with this.
Well, just so you know, in the yearbook of this podcast, you get both of those today.
Funniest hair.
You have the funniest hair in all of the land. They're going to cancel me. They're going to be like, Greta Titelman says Marie Faustin's hair is funny.
Funny.
Oh, it feels good to laugh. Feels good
Did
to
you
laugh.
win anything?
Yeah, I did. Because my school, they gave something to everyone, and our school was like, our superlatives were like roasts, kind of. They were like kind of mean. And mine was most likely to be on a gospel choir because I sang on the gospel choir at my school, which was like so uncreative.
Greta, you were on the gospel choir?
Oh, yes, famously. I was like one of like 2 white girls on the gospel choir, and I used to have a bit about this. As I'm fairly certain, as a way to troll me, they made me sing the solo to Aretha Franklin's Respect in front of the school.
I'm crying. R-E-S-P-C-T. I know there's a video somewhere.
Oh, there has to be. It was awful. It was absolutely awful.
I didn't even know white people were allowed to be in gospel choirs. So, wow, you learn something every day.
You know, I probably shouldn't have been there, but but they loved me nonetheless.
I love this for you. I truly do.
Marie, thank you so much for coming on my show. I want to have you back as our mystery year guest again sometime.
Yeah. I would love to do the pod again. This was fabulous.
No, we just love to chat. We love to get you in, get you out. We love a busy lady with meetings and things to do.
And I'm gonna be late to that meeting too. I see it.
Marie, where can all of my listeners find you and follow you and indulge in all things you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram. My IG is Reezy, R-E-E-E-Z-Y. Or you can find me on the Tick That Talks at also Reezy. I think that's what my name is on
You
there as
are
well.
truly popping off on both platforms.
And honestly, babe, I love it for me because I'm doing the same thing I've been doing. Just more people are finding it. And I'm like, cool. I don't have to change the formula at all.
And it's perfect. It's perfect. You're perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another gorgeous episode of my absolutely perfect, the word of the day, podcast Senior Superlatives. Please give me 5 stars, rate me, review me, positive reviews only. I do not like negativity. And subscribe. And, until next week, stay cool, never change. Ciao.
That was a Headgum podcast.